Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remind us that we are in need of Him. And that is here the issue, the last one that the Prophet ﷺ asked for. That is not sought refuge in Allah from a dua, from a supplication which is not to be fulfilled. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. And your Lord had said to you, supplicate to me, and I will fulfill your supplication. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. That is, if the slaves had asked you, O Prophet, where am I? Then I am close to them. I will fulfill the supplication of those who supplicate to me. فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. And let them respond to my commands, and let them believe in me so that they will be upon the right guidance. And if you look at the secret ingredient in this hadith, which is that the order and the sequence. Number one, Prophet ﷺ, he sought refuge in what? From the unbeneficial knowledge. Number two, from the heart which is not submitting to Allah. Number three, from a soul which is not satisfied. And then finally he says, that is about the dua, and from a dua which is not to be fulfilled. So a dua which is not to be fulfilled is the result of those three things. If you have unbeneficial knowledge, and you have a heart which is a heart like a rock, a heart which is not submissive, and if you have a soul which has never been satisfied, then definitely your supplication will not be fulfilled. And that is why the secret ingredient here, those three things preceding the fourth one. And what is the purpose of your life is actually that your supplication is to be fulfilled. So the supplication has to be fulfilled if you fulfill what Allah told you to do. But if you don't fulfill what Allah told you to do, or if you don't seek refuge in what Allah told you to seek refuge in, and you indulge yourself into haram and sins, then you block in the path and the route for your supplication to be fulfilled. And that's where the Prophet ﷺ, he said, a person stretching his arms to the Almighty, and he says, oh Allah, give me. Oh Allah, give me. But his food is haram. His money is haram. His clothes is made of haram. How can Allah respond to such a caller? How can Allah Azza wa Jal will listen to somebody and respond to the person who is blocking the path for the response of Allah Azza wa Jal by his sins? So the person needs to know that if he had submitted to Allah, his heart, if he had sought the beneficial knowledge, and if he had a satisfied soul, then he's closer to Allah. His supplication will be fulfilled either straight away or will be delayed. It will be saved for him maybe in the hereafter. But a person who hasn't got that, and then you're asking why Allah is not responding to me, you have no right to ask that. First of all, fulfill what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you. Fulfill what Allah Azza wa Jal wants you to do. And that is why we say in the poetry, تَرْجُ السَّلَامَةَ وَلَمْ تَسْلُكْ طَرِيقَتَهَا. You're hoping for safety, but you never gone on the path of safety. إِنَّ السَّفِينَةَ لَا تَجْرِي عَلَى الْيَبَسِ. That is, the ship does not run over dry land. It needs the water. And that is why for your supplication to be fulfilled, you need to fulfill what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had told you. Remember that the companions, their followers, and the followers of the followers, all the time, they scrutinize their deeds and they look, where is the wrong? Why my supplication is not fulfilled? Why my supplication was delayed? They never complain that Allah Azza wa Jalla is the one who delayed. They will say, it must be me. I deserve it. That is why my supplication is not fulfilled. And they are keen to get every supplication of every believer. And it's very important, not just for your supplication to be fulfilled, also to ask someone whose supplication might be fulfilled, regardless whether he looks a sheikh or a scholar, or he looks a normal person. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, رُبَّ أَشْعَثٍ أَغْبَرٍ مَطْرُوقٍ بِالْأَبْوَابِ. Maybe a person with disheveled hair, uncombed hair, and he's got dust on his face. And people will not even open the door for him because he's nothing. Yet, لَوْ أَقْسَمَ عَلَى اللَّهِ لَأَبَرَّهُ. But maybe if he says, oh Allah, give me, and Allah will give him. And Allah will grant him. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ, he asked the companions if they see Uwais al-Qarni. And Uwais al-Qarni is not a companion. If they see Uwais al-Qarni, to go and ask him for the dua. Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, he looked for him in his reign of his khilafah. When the people from Yemen came, he said, amongst you Wais al-Qarni? Yes. They brought him, he said, make dua for me. Mu'awiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, he did that. So the person, he is in need for his dua to be fulfilled. And his need as well for his brothers, the other people around him to make the dua. How can the people make dua for you, not against you, if you're a person who is a wicked person, not doing what Allah wants you to do? A person who is harsh to the people. So you want other people as well to give you the dua. So many people, when they are struck by a calamity, they never think about the dua. The dua is very important, especially in those moments which we are in need of dua. When you are, for example, you've lost everything. Especially if you've lost a very close person to you. What do? Say to inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allahumma ajurni fi musibati wa akhlif li khayran minni. That is, oh Allah, to Allah we belong and to Him we shall return. As soon as somebody dies. Oh Allah, reward me my calamity and bestow me something better in exchange. As soon as you say this, at the first moment, Allah Azza wa Jal will bestow you something better in exchange. This is what Salama had done. When Abu Salama, her husband, died, she said, who is going to be better than Abu Salama? The first house migrated in the sake of Allah to Abyssinia. The first one to fulfill the call of Allah. Who's going to be better than my husband Abu Salama? But she remembered the dua. Oh, the dua, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong and to Him we shall return. Oh Allah, reward me in my calamity and bestow me something better in exchange. As soon as she said it, Allah exchanged her with somebody better than Abu Salama. The Prophet of Allah married her. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So as I said, never belittle your dua. Your dua is a weapon in your hand. But I need to investigate. I need to look carefully. I mean, my dua will be fulfilled straight away. Straight away if I fulfill what Allah commands me to do. And here we end up, inshallah, our top in an episode with regarding those du'as which with all the time will be fulfilled. 3 du'as. ثلاثة لا ترد دعاؤهم or يرد دعاؤهم. 3 people whom their dua will not be refused. It will be responded straight away. Number 1, that is the person who has been oppressed. Al-Madloom. Unjustly dealt with. Number 2, Al-Musafir. The person who is a traveler. Because he's close to Allah. He's in a pain, he's in agony all the time, so he's closer to Allah. And number 3, the caller of the father and the mother, the dua of the father and mother for their son or against their son. Now those du'as are individual du'as. And I'm saying this, for example, that this madloom, when he makes dua against the zalim, it is not, for example, if I want a house, I need to be unjustly dealt with for the sake of getting a house. No, it is your dua against your oppressor. Your dua will be fulfilled. Also the musafir, the traveler, his dua is fulfilled for himself. So it's not for you to go and ask the musafir, make dua for me. No, he's making dua for himself and he'll be fulfilled. Also the father, his dua for or against his son. Mother as well, same thing. So remember to be sincere in dua. And this is the most important thing. Even when somebody dies, make dua which is sincere. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those people who have their dua fulfilled by Allah the Almighty. Jazakumullahu khairan for listening. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.